Question number 12. The interest accrued on $5,500 at 8% for 45 days is what? And use 365 days a year, which we'll use for all of these calculations. 5,500 times 0.08 times 45 over 360 equals $55. Number 13. Company receives 10% 90-day note for $6,900. The total interest due on the maturity date is what? 6,900 times 0.10 times 90 over 360, $172.50. Number 14. Company borrowed $12,000 by signing a 120-day promissory note at 15%. The total interest due on the maturity date is 12,000 times 0.15 times 120 over 360, $600. Number 15. Company borrowed $12,000 by signing a 120-day promissory note at 15%. The maturity value of the note is, maturity value is principal plus interest. So it's going to be $12,000 principal plus interest at 12,000 times 0.15 times 120 over 360. All of that equals $600. So it's going to be $12,600. Number 16. Company had net sales of $2,200,000 and average accounts receivable of $440,000. What is the accounts receivable turnover for the period? Accounts receivable turnover is going to equal to net sales divided by average accounts receivable, which would be $2,200,000 divided by $440,000, which equals 5. Higher is better. You want to turn your receivables over as fast as you can. And number 17. A company had net sales of $630,000, total sales of $780,000, and average accounts receivable of $76,500. Its accounts receivable turnover would be net sales of $630,000, not total sales, but net sales, divided by 76.5, which is a turnover of 8.24. Again, higher is better. Number 18. The company had total sales of $980,000, net sales of $955,800, and average accounts receivable of $118,000. Its accounts receivable turnover equals what? Well, it's net sales, not total sales, $955,800 divided by average accounts receivable, which is $118,000, and that equals 8.1. Higher turnover is better. Number 19. Jasper Company makes a $86,000 90-day 7% cash loan to Claiborne Company. Jasper's entry to record this transaction should be what? We're going to debit notes receivable for $86,000 and we're going to credit cash for $86,000 on the books of Jasper. Number 20. Jasper Company makes a $44,000 90-day 6% loan to Claiborne Company. The amount of interest that Jasper will collect on this loan will be $44,000 times 6% times 90 over 360 will be $660. Number 21. Jasper Company makes a $27,000 90-day 8% loan to Claiborne Company. Jasper's entry to record the collection of the note and interest at maturity should be what? When Claiborne pays this loan back to Jasper, Jasper will debit cash for $27,540, which is all of the interest, and you're going to credit interest revenue for $540. And I think I've left off a couple of zeros there on this one and this one, but that's okay. $540. And we're also going to credit notes receivable for $27,000. So one more time. We'll get rid of the notes that's on our books for $27,000. We'll show that the interest has been earned for $540, and the sum of these two is how much cash we're actually going to get, which is $27,540. Number 22. The amount due on the maturity date of a $11,200 90-day 7% note receivable is what? It'll be interest plus the principal. So the interest will be 11.2 times 7% times 90 over 360, which is $196 interest, and you're going to add to that the principal of $11,200, which we had up here. So on the maturity value, this will be $11,396. Number 23. Giorgio Italian Market bought $9,600 worth of merchandise from food suppliers and signed a 45-day, 8% promissory note for $9,600. Food suppliers' journal entry to record the sale is, we're going to debit notes receivable, that would be notes receivable Giorgio Italian Market, $9,600, and we're going to credit sales for $9,600. And number 24, Giorgio Italian Market bought $1,500 worth of merchandise from food suppliers, signed a 90-day 6% promissory note for $1,500. Food suppliers' journal entry to record the collection on the maturity date would be what? Well, on the maturity date, we're going to get the principal and the interest back. So the principal is going to be $1,500 because that's how much they borrowed, and the interest is going to be $87, which that's a separate calculation. It's be 90 days times 6% times the $1,500, which would be $87, and the sum of these two we're going to get back in cash, which is $58.87.